RHINO is one of the most popular frames in the game, as he is easy to use, and probably one of the most versatile frames. You can build this frame in many ways. If you want to be a defensive anchor, then you can build for his stomp ability, wherein you can stun lock a room with one powerful stomp. If you want to be super tanky, then his iron skin will give you some insane survivability. Hell, it can even give you more than 1,000,000 armor with the right build and setup. Also, he can be a good support with his roar ability. But wait, did you know that his roar is more than just a damage buffing ability right now? Thanks to his new and improved piercing roar augment, your third ability can fill in multiple roles in just one cast of a button. Aside from the damage buff, you can knock down enemies right now with your roar. The good thing is, roar has a wide base range, and when you provide it with some range mods, it will surely be able to stun lock a room full of enemies. But that's not all. Piercing roar does allow you to debuff enemies, as it will apply guaranteed puncture proc to enemies hit by this ability. I know status effect wise, puncture is not that great in high level plays, since no matter how you weaken the enemies, they will still hit hard enough to even one-shot kill your frame. However, puncture can modify your damage by a lot. In fact, it's great against Grineers, and perfect against those corrupted enemies in the void that has a fuck ton of armors. Do remember, the damage buff coming from your roar applies a multiplicative bonus that's calculated after a warframe's or weapon's total damage value. Add the bonus damage that you inflict with those puncture procs, and you will definitely wreck any armored, or what we called bullet sponge enemies with ease. Now how do you build a piercing roar RHINO? Well, it generally depends on your playstyle. Just take for example my build. It's a balanced build between roar and his iron skin abilities. Power strength does not only provides damage boost to roar, but it also allows my iron skin ability to gain as much ferrite armor for survivability. I also added primed continuity, mainly for roar's duration. I know that you can recast this ability right now, and you don't need to have that long duration. It's a personal preference, since I want those puncture debuff also to last on the enemies. I'm not an ability spammer when it comes to RHINO, and I just use his abilities at the right moment. However, you can be an ability spammer, just by taking out Streamline, and adding fleeting expertise on your build. Anyway, duration won't affect your iron skin ability, and it will not hurt your roar that much, since the damage buff will still last for 20 seconds, but its puncture debuff will only last for a couple of seconds. Now the umbral mods, plus the iron shrapnel augment are also personal preference. I like having both umbral intensify and umbral fiber on my build, since not only does it increases my ferrite armor by a lot, but it also helps in increasing the power strength of my build, without any negative effects. And iron shrapnel is always in my build, since I like to move around while playing with RHINO. Because of this, enemies will melt my ferrite armor fast, and I need this augment to help me recast iron skin, before it runs out of juice. Lastly, I did not add any range mod on my build, since this build is for solo plays, and perfect for missions like endurance runs. The 25 meters base range is the perfect range, since I can crowd control only those enemies visible within my area, and not affect those who are still getting into the room where I'm in. This way, I won't disrupt enemy flow, and maintain my kills per seconds in survival missions. But, if you are doing defense type missions, like mobile defense, excavation or even cover survival, then you can put some range on your build. This mod setup will provide you with decent range to crowd control enemies with your roar, and as well as maintaining a good chunk of survivability. However, if you are mostly playing with a team, then you can just remove these umbral mods, and put fleeting expertise and steel fiber on these slots. This mod setup will still provide you with decent armor, plus you can spam your third ability, but you will have lower damage buff coming from your roar. It really depends on how you play RHINO, and also take note that you can always use his stomp for crowd control. A piercing roar build is only energy efficient, as you can have a damage buff, then you can crowd control and debuff at the same time. However, this setup has no means of stopping you from using your fourth ability. So that's it. That's how a powerful frame become more powerful with just a simple augment tweak. I really suggest that you try building your RHINO right now around the piercing roar augment, and enjoy the crowd control, debuff, and damage buff that it provides. By the way, I would like to clear up a few things before I end this video. I have seen so many people asking why I former my frames a lot. Actually, my builds don't require you to former your frames 10 times or even 100 times to achieve what I'm showing on each build videos. just follow the polarity, and you know how much former I have on that build. In this case, this build can be achieved by putting 5 former on your RHINO Prime, 2- polarity, 2V polarity, and 1 for the augment slot. But why do you former your frame a lot, squad leader? It's because I'm a content creator, and in my case, it's cheaper, faster, and easier to former my current frame, than to farm, or buy it from others. Former can be farmed in the game, and it's pretty easy. If you want, I can show you how, just ask for it in the comment box below. Also, leveling is pretty easy. I would rather spend my platinum on something more useful than another copy of a prime frame, or rushing to build it on the foundry. And lastly, I do lots of build testing, as you know it, so expect that I will reform a frame or weapon a couple of times to test various builds. Long story short, I'm a stinny noob who likes to test stuff a lot. I do hope this helped clear things up, and I really wish that my videos help you in some way. Thank you so much for watching. Squad leader signing off.